in Israel we have more freedom than in other places, and textbooks are private industry. Everybody can write textbooks, and teachers can choose. But they all have to be authorized by the ministry. Okay, so you have to have some ideological common ground, which is the Zionist common ground. Okay, and you have to have some assumptions, convictions that are not discussed, that are given. For example, Jewish historical rights on the land. Most school books are not committed to the facts. They are committed to this, to create a usable past, if it's history, or to create a certain message that can help children become good citizens of this state, which means they are very much preoccupied with legitimation. So how do they explain it? So this is one quote from a book, civic studies books. They tell you just like that. There's no contradiction between the fact that Israel is comprised of a civil nation of citizens and the fact that several ethno-cultural minorities live in it, but the only nation that enjoys self-determination is the Jewish one. Okay, such phrasing does not leave any room for questions. That's the way it is. There is no contradiction, and that's it. Now, most Palestinians, as you know, live under what is called a state of exception. You know what that means? It means after wars, when you conquer a place, the people don't belong to you, so they are not subject to your law. So they live outside the law by law, and they are discriminated by law of land leasing, law of citizenship, all kinds of laws. And all functions in the occupied Palestinian territory are transferred to the army, because in the Palestinian territories, only the army controls, and the military law is dominating. How is that explained in the books? This is another book, Civic Studies. They say like that. The Arab population is defined as native minority. They have been transformed into a minority following their painful defeat in the War of Independence, and then it explains their difficulty in accepting their minority status. Also, Zionist ideals and Israel's definition as the state of the Jewish people makes it hard for Israel Arabs to accept their minority status. You present it as normative. The discrimination and the total lack of social and human rights presented either as their destiny, their lot, their fault, or a necessity for Israel's security. In all the books that we have, and we have hundreds, you don't find one photograph of a Palestinian, of an Arab person. Okay? The idea is that really they don't exist except as a problem to be eliminated. And this is what the soldiers understand. That's why they kill them like that in the streets. You know, they don't care. Because this is what they have to do. Eliminate,
they think they are doing the right thing.
Eliminate the problem. So racism is the most, I would say, prominent characteristic of Israeli discourse. For example, when we want to say sloppy work, we say Arab work. Okay? But everybody wants to live in an Arab house because they are the most beautiful. So how does it go together? Arab smell is the worst. Arab taste is the worst. But everybody likes Arab food. Okay, so it's, that's the way of racism. And the last thing I want to speak about is how they teach them to legitimate massacres. They tell you a story that justifies the killing, like Oedipus killed his father, but he saves the city. Okay, so of course the killing is bad. They never say the killing is good. But for example, Dir Yassin, the slaughter of friendly Palestinians, brought about the flight of other Palestinians, which enabled the establishment of a coherent Jewish state. So at the end of the chapter, you say, well, the consequences were good. Maybe the killing wasn't very nice, but the consequences were good. And the escape of the Arabs solved a terrifying demographic problem, and even a moderate person such as the first President Weizmann spoke about it as a miracle.